Shalom. I like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodesh, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS for the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to my Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. This is your brother Yakalia from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is about this video right here, martial law in Ontario, which is in Canada. Alright, and biblical prophecy talks about martial law. And out here in Jamaica, we have a curfew. We've had a curfew since I don't remember the exact date, but sometime last year when this worldwide situation started to occur, allegedly. And we've been in a curfew, and now we are under various kinds of lockdowns, which have been altered. So recently we just came off of a like a Friday to Monday full lockdown. Like on the Saturday we kind of got from 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. but there was a holiday that just passed. I don't remember what it's called. I think it may be Easter weekend or whatever it is that they call it, and we were in a lockdown from, I believe, Thursday to Monday, and then people went back to work on Tuesday. Okay, so, and then right now we still have weekend lockdowns. The curfew on Saturday is at 4 p.m. and then on Sundays it is at 2 p.m. and that is for the next 2 weeks. So it's like 3 weeks in total, and then we don't know what's going to happen after that. And the thing is that the people of this world, and this isn't only something that's happening in Jamaica or in Canada, various places around the world, they are facing curfews and lockdowns. However it is that it's set up by the leaders of the various countries, cities, towns, etc. And these constant lockdowns and these curfews, eventually this, coupled with several other things that will be occurring, especially the famine that is coming, it will essentially rile the people up, man. They're going to start getting crazy. They're going to start realizing that they're not actually going to be returning to the lifestyle that they once believed, or the lifestyle that they once lived. A lot of people, the reason why they're able to just go about life and obey the rules, so to speak, which you should, of course, you obey the rules, right? But how do I say this? Like, the people, they believe that everything's going to go back to normal eventually, right? So with all of these lockdowns and curfews and whatever else, man, they're simply just going to accept it. But the time is going to come very, very, very soon where the people will not care about what the rulers of their various countries have to say, and that's a part of biblical prophecy. Now let's just play this video real quick.
We have implemented the strictest measures in all of North America. And the difficult truth is, every public health measure we have left comes with a massive cost to people and their lives. But we have never shied away from doing what's necessary.
We have made the deliberate decision to temporarily enhance police officers' authority for the duration of the stay-at-home order. Moving forward, police will have the authority to require any individual who is not in a place of residence to, first, provide their purpose for not being at home and provide their home address. Police will also have the authority to stop a vehicle to inquire about an individual's reason for leaving their residence.
And our inspectors will also be ensuring that those who absolutely must come to work are strictly following the public health measures. For our employers and employees, take note. This is your last warning.
I'm wondering about these new police powers to just randomly stop someone walking down the street or to pull over a car. What happens if a person refuses to answer the police questions?
So by issuing these new additional enforcement measures, it allows police officers to ask the person why they are not at their place of residence and what their place of residence is. And specifically to your question, if you are not willing to comply, then you are breaking the law.
If someone sees their neighbors breaking these new regulations and having a party in their yard, that sort of thing, should people call police on their neighbors?
In terms of people calling to snitch, to inform, look, we all have a personal responsibility. If it means saving lives, then I think we have to think about what your social responsibilities are as an individual to make sure that you don't empower other people and invite a whole bunch of individuals to your home.
All right, so you heard it, man. Over there in Ontario, Canada, martial law. In a sense, you know, people could call it a soft martial law or whatever else. You know, a lot of people, when they think about martial law, they're expecting military personnel and tanks and all of that stuff to be out there. But, you know, it essentially is a form of martial law. And, you know, let's just jump into the precept. As the precept explains it very, very beautifully. This second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So this is coming. You know, there is a great division among the people of this world. All right, and you know that goes from, bro, like you have the vegans versus the non-vegans, the pro-life versus the non-pro-life, the Republicans versus the Democrats, blacks versus whites, blacks versus Chinese, and these are so-called, these are just titles given in this world. Whites versus Arabs, whites versus Chinese, whites versus Latin. Bro, people, there is just a division in several kinds of ways within this world, man. And you know, the scriptures talk about that when there's a division among the people, especially among the rulers of the this kingdom. And who are the rulers? These so-called white people, who are the biblical Edomites, whose forefathers Esau. This is their kingdom today. All right, and you know, just among themselves, there's a division. You have the Edomites who are pro-white, so to speak, and then you have Edomites that are walking for Black Lives Matters, or, you know, but even though that's set up, you know what I'm saying? But just among the Edomites, there's all kinds of divisions, all right? All kinds of different kinds of beliefs. And, you know, America is known as Mystery Babylon the Great. It is a place of great confusion. It's a great melting pot. You know, they call New York the great melting pot. You know what I'm saying? But all of America is a great melting pot with all kinds of ideas and theories and religions and everything. So it's just mass confusion, man. All right, and as kingdom that is divided, especially among the rulers, a king, it cannot stand, as it is written. All right, but this people shall stand up and fight against another. It's big. All right, people are going to be out there in the streets. It's going to be anarchy and chaos. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So eventually the people of this world, man, are not going to regard their rulers, their prime ministers, their presidents, their mayors, you know, whatever it is, man. They're not going to care. So eventually, you know, of course, this martial law will be coming in. So it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So that's the martial law, man. That's, you know, in various countries around the world, martial law. In America, especially, martial law. Okay, and then the people as well, they're just not going to regard the martial law rules, and they're going to be going out there, man, because of the time of great tribulation that's coming, which, by the way, Jacob's trouble, a great time of tribulation upon you so-called niggers, Latinos, and Native Americans, is swiftly approaching, man. All right, so you need to turn to Yahweh Shemishai and repent and hope and have faith that he will protect you in the days that are coming, because if you don't have the protection you through, For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So people are going to be going buck wild out there, man. All right, especially with this part, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. The lack of bread, that famine that is coming. All right, that is really what's going to set a lot of people off, man. All right, people can go homeless, people can lose their jobs, people, people can suffer from all kinds of natural disasters or whatever it be, man. But you see, when it is that people don't have food to eat, they're gonna be going wild out there in the streets, man. They're people who are best friends with their neighbors or have their best friends in general, man. It's going to be every man for himself in these days. That's what the kind of spirit that Yahweh Shemishah is going to be putting out there, man. All right, people are going to be fending for just their families, and then the famine is going to get so bad that cannibalism will be coming, man. Scripture says, I believe it's in Isaiah. It talks about snatch on the left and snatch on the right. All right, people are going to be consuming even themselves, man. So that's how bad the days are coming, man. All right, and then you heard the reporter asked the woman, if you see your neighbor doing whatever, man, right? If you see your neighbor doing whatever and they're breaking protocol, what should you do? And she said, essentially, she said, you report to them in the most diplomatic way that she could say it. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not going to say it just up front. But she's suggesting for the betterment of whatever else that you report them. But these things are coming, man, and we can just go up to verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So these things are coming, man. All right, and we truly are in the last days, the last weeks, the last months, you know what I'm saying, before these things happen, and it really just takes one mass event, some kind of event like what happened in 2001, with the Twin Towers, that can just change everything, and they can just, through that mass event, they just implement all of these kinds of laws and whatever else, man. Okay, but this is where it's at, man. All right, let me just get that Jacob's trouble for y'all. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who shall be saved? The elect of the nation of Israel. Salvation is only for the nation of Israel, and of the nation of Israel, an elect number will be saved. All right, so it's a day that is none like it. And when you look at the history of what the Israelites have gone through, all right, you can go back to when during our Egyptian captivity, and even leaving from that captivity, how fearful it was. All kinds of things occurred, the plagues that were brought on, the apparitions that were seen, and it's going to be a day that is none like it. So it's going to be that kind of time magnified. And when you go through all of the history, man, of what the Israelites have gone through, we have gone through some very heavy and dark times, but this time is going to be the worst. And imagine, think about it, in those days the men were much stronger mentally and physically than they were today, man. You see, think about it. Right now we are in our absolute weakest state, man. All right, and even in those days when they faced those things, they were fearful. And the days that are coming are going to be worse. All right, very terrifying times are coming, man. Very, very terrifying times. The Most High is getting ready to use his sword, which is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, upon us. All right, and once again, if you don't have that protection from the Most High, if you don't have that spiritual mark, which is talking about the Thawa in the book of Ezekiel chapter 9, you through completely, man. All right, so that is why we literally we push through with faith and hope that Yahweh Shemeshai will keep us of a sound mind, as it says in Isaiah chapter 33 verse 6. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation, man. All right, and we hope that Yahweh Shemeshai keeps us of that sound mind and grants us that spiritual power to get through what's coming, man. Because without Yahweh Shemeshai, without the spiritual power being gifted onto us as well, going through the physical trials, bro, you through. All right, but you know, overall with that, I like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shemin Shai, Shemikah Kodesh, Wa Abad, Babal, Shalom.